I really would like to just grind out Rev 2. I would. You know what I'd also like to grind out that's happened over the past few years? KOF 15. Also, Guilty Gear Xrd was really fun when I came back to it. Games like Soul Calibur 6. There's a harsh reality that I've kind of accepted that is kind of... It kind of sucks now just because it is the way it is. But there are fighting games that just will not pull viewership. And outside of like a video or two, even on YouTube, or a stream or two on Twitch, it gets very hard to keep retention going. And that's a thing that you actively have to think about. I can't just always do the thing that I just want to do and screw everybody else. I've noticed it especially with games like Soul Calibur 6, KOF like 15/14, Strive, Xrd Rev 2. At the beginning, it's okay. DNF Duel, thank you. DNF Duel is absolutely one of those. These games, I would love to actually just sit and grind them. But one of the most challenging parts about being a fighting game content creator is that there's very few fighting games that people will stick around for. Like, really stick around for, especially like larger audiences. And that sucks to me because I really enjoy some of these games. Dude, I like fucking MVCI, like, of course. Like, I've been through the ringer of this stuff where it's like, I'd love to keep making content about this game, but like, this other game is coming out and this is what everyone wants to see, you know? Strive 2, absolutely, dude. Like, Strive does pretty well when you get a new character that comes out, and I was learning Sin and doing pretty well, but the viewership just tanks. It just sucks, right? It's just kind of the way it is. However, it's not the case with every fighting game. I have noticed games like Tekken, Dragon Ball FighterZ, even like Third Strike, right? A lot of these games do engage people in ways that are a lot different than other modern fighting games. Street Fighter V? Definitely not. No, I would not put Street Fighter V into that category. I would not. Killer Instinct also does pretty good too. Smash Brothers, when it was getting relative new content, does also get pretty good. No offense to Strive, Tomo says, but Tekken is just more enjoyable to watch no matter what the skill level of the person streaming. And that is what I have kind of accepted, that some games are just easier to watch for general people. And to be real, chat, if you guys wanted the highest level gameplay when it comes to fighting games and stuff like that, there is a billion other streamers that stream these individual games that are way better than me and should be getting amazing viewership, but they unfortunately don't. The highest they'll get is anywhere between like 500 to 1,000. That's the weird thing of streaming fighting games, is that only some of them will audiences come back and actually be sustainable for like a long time. So that's one of the reasons why I, you know, obviously switched to being a variety streamer and streaming a lot of different stuff. Now, not just fighting games, because I recognize that, especially when you need to do the things that you want to do in fighting games, which is grind. You actually need to grind. You need to just cram and slam your face against this thing, and then you're just going to get beat up by it, and you're going to learn how it works, and that's just the way it goes. That is like the ultimate way that it takes for you to be better as a player. You just got to grind into it. But ultimately, like, for the majority of fighting games, like, especially after the first month they're out, it just goes away. However, it's not the same thing for everything. Like I said, some of those games, like Tekken, Dragon Ball FighterZ, like a few good examples, they actually keep people's interest for a relatively decent amount of time. It's weird to me. It's an unfortunate reality that I've had to kind of face for quite some time, that I think it sucks, because I would have loved to just grind the fuck out of Soul Calibur 6. Granted, its netcode wasn't amazing, but I really enjoyed playing it. And every single time I played it, I'd get like 25 to 30% less people watching almost anything else I did. And I was like, fuck, man, this is such a bummer. Is that a problem? I still have great viewership. It definitely sits in the back of your head. And I can definitely say that. Like, even if you're making videos and stuff like that, it will definitely lean on the back of your head, where you're like, I'm gonna do this, it's just, there's not gonna be as many people that are gonna be interested. And that's just the way it's gonna go. But to add to that, I'd like to express a deep appreciation for anybody that has stuck around for some of these games that aren't just as popular, for ones that like might not have hit the entirety of the masses as much. I still get really great viewership and people that stick around and leave comments and appreciate the fact that I'm still playing some of these games that aren't huge, that are not mega sellers, that are relatively small and have really appreciative communities. I feel like I attach myself to underdog fighting games even more so than the giant mainstream ones. It's kind of the same thing for a lot of fighting games now, where there hasn't been, like I said, a new big fighting game that's come out in a long time. It's something that's like a multi-million-dollar seller that's a really big fighting game for a long time. It's been like 4 years, dude. I mean, DNF Duel, I think Guilty Gear sold the best of them all. KOF 15. Multiverses, yeah. Melty, yeah, that's a good example of that too. Grand Blue, that's what I'm trying to think of, Grand Blue. And all of those games, I don't know if they actually peaked over 1 million unit sales outside of Guilty Gear. Like, no kidding. Maybe Sam Show. Yeah, but Sam Show also plateaued super hard, super fast. I don't know if the same thing's gonna happen to Street Fighter 6, but I do think it's a gameplay thing. I do think that there is something gameplay-wise related to fighting games over the past few years that have made their overall casual viewing enjoyment change a bit, to the point where people still like watching Tekken. People will still enjoy watching a green rank Tekken player that has not played the game in fucking years rank up to red rank and just learn the ropes all over again. People just give a shit. It's fucking weird. But you know what also? You know why people give a shit? Because Tekken sold like 8 million copies or some shit. So like 9 million copies. It expanded the audience in a way that was so profound. And why did it did that? Well, it's pretty interesting to watch. There's a reason why Tekken was also popular. It's relatively interesting to watch as a game, you know? It's interesting to play too, if it wasn't for like some of the funky netcode shit. Tekken does a very good job at being captivating with interesting stuff. You felt that watching EVO this year? I feel like watching EVO every year. Every single EVO, the most interesting tournament is always Tekken, usually. And sometimes Street Fighter, right? Sometimes Street Fighter will have a really good EVO. But usually Tekken is where like a lot of the hype actually is. I mean, and even someone here, like someone that is in a position where I want to make myself happy, but also make a lot of other people happy. And if I know a lot of people are just tuning into what I'm doing, it makes me happy, right? It doesn't take away the things that I enjoy or I don't enjoy. Like, for example, I had some of the best viewership I've ever had playing Callisto Protocol to like 20,000 people, but I wasn't enjoying the game and I fucking deleted it on stream just because I was like, I was comically done with it. Comically done with it. So it's not like I'll just grind through it, because if I sat around, that viewership would have gone to like 20 to 30,000, because luckily we were at the top, drops were on, all that stuff. It was actually a super great stream for me. I just didn't want to play it anymore, man. I just wasn't enjoying myself. And it was like pretty obvious why I wasn't enjoying myself on screen. It's not like I only get enjoyment out of high viewership stuff. I don't. It's just that when a lot of people are tuning into something and I'm also digging what's going on, it feels fucking amazing. That's like one of the best feelings as a streamer, to know that the opposite end is having just as much fun as you are, and it's actually reflecting in either viewership on YouTube or viewership on stream. People are supporting you like that. That's like the best feeling. That's like as a streamer, that's essentially what you're striving for, LOL, at all times, right? And I could just absolutely sit back and just grind one of these games. I could have just kept on playing Tekken 7 that entire time and ignored everything else. But at the same point, I know there would be a drop-off if I just did the same thing over and over and over again. That's my observation, right? My observation about the entire situation of being a streamer is that content creation has changed a lot, and it's harder and harder to keep people's attention nowadays than ever. The unfortunate reality has been games like Soul Calibur 6, DNF Duel, Grand Blue, Guilty Gear Strive to an extent, KOF 15, and a lot of those games that have come out over the past like 4 years, they just don't hold audiences for some reason. I didn't like Grand Blue that much, but I think like KOF is fucking great, man. I fucking really like DNF Duel. Guilty Gear Strive is obviously super fun, but I prefer, you know, XR Rev 2. And I think the only reason I've come to this observation is because I've been thinking about it a lot, because it's been so many years now. It's literally almost been half a decade that we've actually had like a multi-million selling fighting game. And outside of like Smash Ultimate, it's been a long time, man, that there's actually been a big fighting game that is like smashed down and really expanded. And it felt like that should have been Guilty Gear Strive. And then you find out that it only sold as much as it did. And it's like, that's bullshit, man.